Real quick, y'all. It's the reason why I got this toy set here. I'll explain that in a minute. Um, but I'm gonna tell you about this dream I had. Okay, I had three dreams in one night. The first two I already spoke about them. And so immediately when I woke up, I had to speak about the dreams and post them. Then I went back to sleep. That's when I had this third dream. But this third dream had two dreams in one. Okay, now this one here was a sort of a nightmare because I love my brother. Um, Now let me explain this one to you. All I remember is me and my brother was in this alley, and I'll never forget. Um, we was trying to get sticks and wood for a campfire, and I said if we get the wood and the stuff now, it won't be too cold, and I guess we could survive. And I had my flashlight that I do have now. So I took my flashlight, we went looking for wood for this campfire, and when we got back to the area where we was going to set our fire at, I said to him, I said, oh my God, did you even look right here? It was already a pile of wood here in a bundle. He'd like, yeah, I seen that, but yet we still went to look for wood anyway. Okay, right after that, my brother had a Jeep Cherokee, 4x4, four-wheel drive vehicle, and it was on fire. And I said, oh my goodness, your car's on fire. And it was like it was nothing to him. All right. His car started rolling like the movie Christine, where the car was driving on its own, or the vehicle just moved out on its own. And it was on fire, and we're looking at the door handles and everything. And then I said, we got to get this car out of here. This thing is going to explode. And just by the thought of us saying we need to get this car out of here, the car took off on its own, driving straight through this alley highway, just rolling. Engine wasn't on or nothing. It was like it was cruising down the road in neutral, but at a high rate of speed just to get away from us so it didn't explode. And we did nothing of the kind to get it to moving. So it's cruising and cruising. I said, oh my goodness, wow, look, it's going down. And wow, is it even staying straight? And he looked at me like, whoa, this is crazy. And at the end, we saw this big barrel of hay. And I said, oh my goodness, that is going to catch on fire when it hit that hay. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, no, it might jump off the cliff and hit the highway. So the SUV hit the pile of hay, put a groove in it. There was water coming from somewhere, but yet at the end of this hay barrel, it put the fire out. It was dousing the fire, and it was a bunch of kids that played football. It was a football team, a high school football team was right behind it, and the kid moved. I said, oh my goodness, these kids gonna get hit. We're gonna get in trouble. My brother gonna get in trouble. And this car busted through there, and this boy's arm was right in the way, and it's the dream slowed down in slow motion, and the car, my brother's SUV, just flew past this dude as the boy turned in slow motion to get out of the way of the car. It burned his arm. Okay, so after that, the SUV never landed on a highway or nothing from behind the Harold Bays, that barrel of hay. What it did was hit this other section of what was in the background, and there was some train tracks up ahead. And I said, oh my goodness, that's cruising down through the train track. It's going to hit the train, and then it's just going to blow the car up. Or the train, once the car hit the train tracks, it was my brother that was stumbling around and rolling around on the train tracks. And I'm still standing there talking to my brother, all right? Like, really, I'm talking to my brother next to me. But on these train tracks was my brother, and then his body would roll. He rolled around. Then all of a sudden, he was decapitated. His head was decapitated, and there was no tears. I wasn't crying or nothing. Once again, I love my brother. But this is how this thing played out. Well, the detectives, the ambulance, and the fire and police, they was all there. And I said to my brother, well, since you here, you might as well go on over there and get your ID, get your credentials before they clean up this scene. But like, wait a minute. It was almost like it was just natural that he was dead. Okay, so he went and got his wallet. I'll never forget him shaking his wallet in his hand, and then this dream changed. Okay, now this is the one that I want y'all to pay attention to. I was in this room, and I'll never forget, it was a bunch of people walking around, okay, going about their daily in this building. And there was this man, I don't know if he was a doctor or he was a dentist. All I know is they told me I got to go check in over there. And then this guy comes out in his doctor's robe. And there was a lady standing next to him, but she wasn't paying no attention to me. She had blonde hair, real long, real beautiful woman. And this guy, he said, you need to get this. And I'm like, what is he talking about? And immediately my mouth was already open. He had this needle. It was metal. It had two hoops for fingers. You pull and eject the needle. It was like an old school needle, or a needle you would see in a movie with like the casing that holds the syringe. And he already injecting this thing in my mouth, but I didn't feel no fluid or nothing going in my veins in my mouth, but I could not close my mouth. And he was, I said, get this off of my mouth. What are you doing? Like, get this off of me. And I could feel metal pieces attaching to my mouth. It was like it was changing my mouth. It was like it was changing my mouth to make me be something that I didn't want to be, or something that I'm not. It was like reconstructing me. So I finally got this needle out of my mouth. After I got this needle out of my mouth, I'll never forget looking down at the table, and I'm trying to pull these pieces of things out of my mouth. So it was these metal things, like little metal diamonds. It was like the diamonds, but metal casing on the outside. And I'm spitting these out, but I could still feel my mouth was turned to like titanium metal. I could feel it. Couldn't see my body, but I just knew my mouth had changed. And after that, there was this woman in there, this blonde lady. I think her name was Tina. They said her name was Tina. And Tina came over by me, and I guess she was telling me was something that I need. All right, y'all. So as I'm spitting these things out, and Tina was in there, this lady was dressed like him. She had on some blue jeans, though, real built, nice, thin, just nice woman. She was beautiful. It was like a scene out of a movie. And I walked away from there, and there was all these other people coming in there, and my first instinct was to get the hell out of there. I wanted to get out of this place. All right. But every time I went to a door, I couldn't get out. It was hard to explain. I couldn't get out of this hospital, like a hospital lounge, not a lounge, but like the area, the nurses station. It was almost like that. It was like a nurses station. And there was somebody else that had to go up there and see him. I said, hey, y'all, don't go up there. You need to, you know what? And I said, no, I gotta get, and I'm sorry I'm explaining this to y'all like this. And I said to myself, I gotta go back over there and see Tina. And I went back over to the desk, and I said, I was gonna explain to somebody who Tina was. They gave me this shot. Y'all gotta go over there and see Tina. But I advised y'all not to go over there. And then I went over to the desk and said, is anybody in there? Is Tina in here? They said, Tina's standing right there. That's Tina right there. And I said, no, Tina, I need to see the Tina. So I'm looking around, looking over the desk. I didn't see her. And Tina was, I'm like, that's not Tina. And all of a sudden I turned back around, and then the lady that was Tina was standing in front of me with the robe on. And I don't know why I did this, because I would never do this. I took my hands and I wrapped them around her waist, and I kept like massaging her lower half of her body and her blue jeans, and it was like she liked it and she was enjoying it, but there was other people around. This is crazy, y'all. It's so real. This is weird. Anyway, so I was massaging her waist, grabbing her in areas that I normally wouldn't grab somebody. I wouldn't do this. And she kept walking away because people was around, and she would like to. I guess she wanted more, but it was too many people around. So all I know is that I left that area. I went down this escalator, and as I get down the escalator, there was a bunch of people running around doing things that they shouldn't be doing, just doing crazy stuff, screaming and running and scared. And then I'll never forget this. There was like, if you go out an escalator, go down an escalator, and you look down the bottom of the steps, like maybe 20 or 30 feet in front of you was the exit doors, like a row of exit doors, and real bright, beautiful, sunny day outside. And this guy had came up to me, this black dude. He ran up to me, and I said, "Man, if you don't get the hell away from me," he had that kind of like attacked me. And I pushed him away, and then somebody else attacked him, so he didn't have no interest in me no more. So the girl Tina happened to be up on the steps again, and I ran up to the steps and I said, "Look, y'all, we got to get the hell out of here. This place ain't real. This we can't be here." And some little girl was on the steps crying. She wasn't little. She's probably like uh, she was just short, and they were sitting on the steps, and then the Tina girl was like, my name ain't Tina. I said, "You know, I just got done talking to you. Your name is Tina." She said, "I'm sorry, you got the wrong person." I said, "Lady, if you know what? I'm gone." So I ran down the steps and I went out towards the door. And I opened up the door and I looked outside. It was picnic tables. It's set up to where you can eat on them. And it was like when people set up a area where you can eat and it's beautiful outside, and they got the umbrellas, the tables. You can see there was something like that. And then there was the roadway cars was going about their day, but this was like beyond real. It was that beautiful. It was perfect. Everything was perfect. So I come back in the door. I said, "Y'all, come on, let's go. We got to get out of here." I don't know why I was telling them we got to get out of here, but these group of people was running after us. And then that same black dude ran over at me. I said, "Man, if you don't get out of here, we got to get out of here. They doing stuff to people. It's a doctor up there. He trying to inject stuff and put it in your mouth." And he said, "No, we're going to stay here." So I grabbed him, and the girls was like, "Oh my God." I said, "No, y'all, this man ain't real. I'm going to prove it to y'all he ain't real." So I drugged this man over to the door. We was tussling for a minute, and I finally got the door open, and I slammed him outside. And he hit the ground, and he looked at me and started talking stupid, but it was almost like he really wasn't trying to get back in the building. For some reason, he had a motorcycle outside, and he got on his motorcycle, and then he came at me again, and I threw him and his motorcycle. And then they was looking at him from outside and looking at me, and he started to disappear. I said, "Y'all, look, 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 look." He disappearing. I told y'all he ain't real. Then he vanished. So I come back in there, and they was like, "Oh my God, you weren't lying. You were telling the truth." So I said, "You know what? I ain't thinking about them two girls. I'm leaving." And I ran up the opposite side of the building to go up that escalator, and I could still see them. And it was this black lady with a bunch of people. It was probably 400 people that was just following her. It was like she was a school teacher or something. They was following her, and I said, "I'm out of here. I'm getting out of here." And then this lady said, "I'm tired of this. This is she kept saying something about an apex world. This is an apex world, and we're not going to be able to escape it. This is an apex world. They are controlling everything." And she said, "The minute they get the sun, once they start controlling the sun, it's over." So she just kept repeating, "We in the apex world." And when she said the apex world, I looked at her and I was still running. And she said their next goal is to harvest the sun. When they get the sun, it's over. So I just thought I'd share that dream with y'all. I know it was a little crazy, but I thought I would share that with y'all. It was real to me. It was really real. I would not want to be stuck in a matrix world. That's pretty much what it was. But this lady called it an apex world. And I'm telling y'all, there was people being produced in this realm by the thousands. So everywhere I looked, there was people just popping up out of nowhere, almost like they hitting the start button on a video game, and then they just show up in character in the game. So I'm talking to people that really think that I was talking to people in this game that really thought that they were people, and they was probably just part of the program, and I was the only one that wasn't part of the program trying to escape the program. So now I get it. I was trying to escape this program, and these people in there, I'm trying to have conversations with them, and they're part of the program, so they had no clue on what I was talking about. And like I said, now when I threw that dude outside the door and he disappeared, and I tried to show them, and they didn't care. It was like, okay, you threw somebody outside, he disappeared, and they was just going on about their daily. But they had conversations with me, but just everything I said went in one and out the other. And then the lady at the end gave me a message and said, I'm tired of this apex world. She just kept saying, I'm tired of this apex world. As soon as they can harvest the sun, we lose. So I just had to share that with y'all. Stay blessed. And I only put this toy up here because this is what this is. This is almost like these toys are stuck in a reality, our reality, and we puppeteer these toys around to make the cars move. We can make this car run this man over. That helicopter could crash if I decide to let it go and let it fall. So that's why I put the toys up here. So hopefully somebody can understand that too. All right, stay blessed. Love y'all.